Also in Miami-Dade County, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez says he has tested positive for COVID-19.
Yeah, this is Miami-Dade's Mayor Carlos Gimenez. His test was negative. CBS 4's Peter Dench is live in downtown Miami. He continues our live team coverage now. Peter.
Well, Jim and Francis, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez made the announcement that he had tested positive just one day after telling us that he had no symptoms and felt healthy, but was going into self-isolation as a precaution. Now, Miami City Commissioners Manolo Reyes and Ken Russell are in self-isolation, as well as the police chief.
Residents and employees, I was informed that I have tested positive for COVID-19. I feel completely healthy and strong.
Miami Mayor Francis Suarez makes that announcement just one day after saying he was going into self-isolation as a precaution after being in the same room this week as the communications director for the president of Brazil, who tested positive for the coronavirus.
After speaking with medical professionals, I will continue to follow Department of Health protocol and remain isolated while I lead our government remotely. If we did not shake hands or you did not come into contact with me while I coughed or sneezed, there is no action you need to take whatsoever.
City Commissioner Ken Russell made this announcement on Facebook.
I just received a call from both the mayor and the city manager advising that I should go into self-quarantine.
Through FaceTime, Russell told me he had started to self-quarantine after the mayor tested positive because they had been together at a few events this week. Not taking any chances at all.
Correct. As an elected, you're in contact with so many people, which really escalates the risk. So we want to be very careful.
Russell says he is being tested and should know the results within 24 hours. Also through FaceTime, Miami Police Chief George Colina told me he too was self-isolating after direct contact with the mayor.
My interaction with him was directly after he met with the Brazilian delegation on both Monday and Tuesday. And we've had a lot of meetings since then. And because I shook hands, hugged, and was in close proximity to the mayor, the recommendation is for me to self-isolate until I'm able to be tested.
That is strict.
I am staying in my home. I will be in a room. If I need to go outside of the room, of course, we'll be wiping anything that I touch down that I might have touched. And again, all of this is just in an abundance of caution to make sure that we're being responsible.
The city of Miami has declared a state of emergency, activating its emergency operations center and canceling all special events.
If you suspect you have been in contact with anyone who is sick or exhibiting any symptom like fever, cough, or shortness of breath, please call the County Department of Health.
Now, Chief George Colina told me he feels fine and is showing no symptoms and will return to work as soon as he is cleared to do so. He told me he also has an important message to everyone. He wants all of you to remain calm and realize steps are being taken to try to curb this virus. We're live at Miami Police Headquarters. Peter Dench, CBS.
Off with some breaking news after several local leaders were self-quarantined because of the virus.
And we just learned that Miami Mayor Francis Suarez has now tested positive. Let's go now to Local 10 News reporter Andrew Perez, who is live in Miami. Andrew.
Janice, Christie, this just developing within the last couple of minutes. We got this information into our newsroom again. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez testing positive for COVID-19. I want to go ahead and send you to some video. He has been under self-quarantine just as a precaution out of all of this. He said that he just wanted to make sure that he was okay. He was still going to conduct city business. His reps, however, now confirming that he is the 42-year-old Miami-Dade resident announced by the health department overnight that tested positive for COVID-19. I can tell you Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Gimenez has tested negative but remains in self-quarantine as well. All of this after a South Florida visit by Brazil's president and Brazil's the press secretary as well. That press secretary testing positive for COVID-19. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro's recent visit causing some local leaders to go into isolation. This after Bolsonaro's press secretary, Fabio Wajngarten, seen here on his Instagram, also made the trip to South Florida, tested positive for coronavirus.
After speaking with healthcare professionals, I have decided to follow Department of Health protocol and self-quarantine out of an abundance of caution.
Miami Mayor Francis Suarez was part of a delegation that met with Bolsonaro over the weekend. In a video message, Suarez said he will self-isolate and continue to govern remotely.
I feel healthy, strong, and more than capable of doing my job as mayor.
Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Gimenez was also part of that delegation, announcing via Twitter that he was self-isolating. He tested negative, though. Bolsonaro and Wajngarten also visited Miami-Dade College's medical campus over the weekend. MDC now shutting down that campus, canceled all events college-wide.
We received the information a little bit before noon, and pretty much within about an hour and a half, we made the decision.
Bolsonaro, his wife, and dozens of security and staff also visited the Wynwood studio of artist Romero Brito. No word on whether he too will be tested or go into isolation. Again, the big story right now at this hour, it has been confirmed Miami Mayor Francis Suarez testing positive for COVID-19. Once again, he is under self-quarantine right now, trying to fight this right now. Back out here live, Miami-Dade College's medical campus is again shut down. We've seen people walking around with masks. We've seen people trying to deep clean the building right now. This is a constantly evolving situation. As soon as we have any new details, we'll have it for you right here on Local 10 News. That's the latest out here in Miami. I'm Andrew Perez. Back